Hello, I'm Matteo, the Chief Mobile Opinionist here at Tech Travel Geeks. And in this video, I'm going to set up the Poco F7 by Xiaomi, which I recently purchased with my own pocket money. Now, the Poco F7, as I said in our unboxing video, is a device that harkens back to the very first Poco F1 that we unboxed and reviewed on the Tech Travel Geeks YouTube channel. But today we're going to start off and set up the device, and before I even turn it on, I'm going to open that SIM tray with my Poco SIM ejector tool. Now, this has got rubber along the edges of it because it is an IP68 rated device. It is a dual SIM tray, so it's got SIM 1 and SIM 2 in the same tray. I'm going to pop my SIM card into the SIM 1 slot. Now, this is a dual SIM device. It supports 2 physical SIM cards, but just be aware that the Poco F7 does not support eSIMs as far as I'm aware. Now, that's the SIM tray in. I'm going to long press the power button on the right hand side of the device. That's the smaller one. There's also a volume rocker there. And we're greeted by the Poco brand in yellow on a black screen, and it's powered by Android. Now, this is a very nice display. It is, in this case, a 6.83 inch one. It is an AMOLED display with great, in my view, great contrast ratio, and it looks lovely just as it has the Xiaomi HyperOS start screen there. So I'm going to tap go ahead. We're going to select English United Kingdom because that's exactly where we are and that's the language I use. United Kingdom, great. Terms and conditions, obviously I trust Xiaomi. I'm going to say next. It's always good to have a redundant backup somewhere else. Now, it's suggesting I set up using another device. In this space, you can use an existing Android device and copy over your apps and services and everything, or an iPhone or iPad, but I'm going to skip this and set it up like a new device. First things first, we need to connect to Wi-Fi. I'll just be a moment. Great, I'm connected to Wi-Fi. First impressions are that the haptic feedback that's coming out of the Poco F7 is wonderful. Really does feel good and responsive, and there's no lag. So it's almost like typing on a physical keyboard. So really, really impressive, good start to the overall experience. Now, obviously, we're connecting to Wi-Fi. The device will likely call home and also see that I've put a 3 UK SIM card in it and start loading all of 3's bloatware on it, because that's what we sign up for. Obviously, if you get a device this affordable, someone needs to be paying for the cost, and part of that is the monetization through carrier deals. But most importantly, I now need to sign into my Google account. Yeah, really good haptic feedback there. I enjoyed that. Now, I do need to do 2-step verification here. I need to use another device, which I'll do now, and say, yes, this is me signing into my Google device, or Google on a new device. In this case, you get given the option, do you want to be using this device, or are you setting this up for a child? I'm going to go ahead and set this up for myself. Allegedly, I'm a grown-up, but you do have a great set of parental controls in the Android operating system, which makes it easy and safe to set it up for a child. Right, next I'm going to go ahead and agree to setting my account up with the device. As usual, it takes a little bit of time to call back to Google and check everything over. Even Google are now starting to nag us to copy apps and data over from another device. I'm not going to do that. I really want to do this as a new device. So let's set up the screen lock. Let's set up fingerprint. Before we do that, I need to set up a pattern, a PIN code or a password. I'm going to set up a pattern, and then it says remember your screen log. If you forget it, you'll have to erase all data on your device. That's really something I want to avoid doing. Okay then, we're getting a follow-up prompt saying that screen protectors may interfere with the screen fingerprint recognition. Okay, that's fine. It's suggesting we use Xiaomi film if your device requires screen protection. Okay, I'm going to say got it. Now, interestingly, this device does come with a screen protector already applied. You can hardly see it, but it's there. The fingerprint scanner on the Poco F7 by Xiaomi is, in this case, an optical one. So not the new fancy ultrasonic ones, but it seems to be quite responsive. And the haptic feedback with very little, if any, lag is quite pleasant to go through with. Okay, great. We've set up fingerprint, all good. Google services, in Google we trust, we're sending data back to them, everything's good. Back up your device with photos and videos and other device data. This is through my Google account, so I'm going to go ahead and turn that on. Now, this is something that you only get in the EU. It's prompting you to choose your search engine. Google has to do this to prove that they're not a monopoly. But what do people do? They select Google as their search engine. So there we go. Do we want to continue the setup? Yeah, let's go. So do we want to let contacts nearby find me? Yeah, let's see what that does. Do I want to use Gemini? Yes, I do. Do I want to go hands-free with a Hey G word? Yes, I do. I can use my existing cards on the device. Yes, I do. I will have to do this later because I don't happen to have the device on me. So I'll skip that. And then finally, we get given the option to add another email account, change how text is displayed, change the wallpaper, review additional apps. I'm going to say no thanks. I'm all good with that. So it's last set up in here, and then Xiaomi jumps in and says, hey, I want access to all these wonderful data points on our consumers. And it's exactly the same questions as from Google, with a few extra ones about updating apps automatically and Xiaomi interconnectivity. Become part of the Xiaomi ecosystem. Now it's suggesting I set up Xiaomi parental controls. There seems to be a bit of duplication here. And then you get to choose the font settings. So you can use default font or the Xiaomi font, Mi Sans. I'll go with Mi Sans. Let's live the Xiaomi life on the Poco F7. Set up the lock screen with a wallpaper carousel. Okay, go ahead. I accept cookies. Now, with the launcher, you get to choose here if you want a classic or iOS-like drawerless experience where all the apps are on the home screen and you need to scroll around and organize them in folders, or you can use an app drawer. I'm definitely going to go for the app drawer. Next, it's suggesting recommended apps from Xiaomi. This is what is bloatware. Do I need notes from Hong Kong Be Sure IT Co Limited? No. Insane Journeys by HK Wanzong Technology? No, thank you. Crazy Stickman puzzle relaxing toy. I can't read that. Apologies, my Chinese is very, very limited. Lots of apps. They seem to be very similar app developers. These are seem all to be C games. Next, it's asking us about system navigation. Do I want to have gesture navigation or buttons with the little buttons at the bottom? I'm going to go for full screen gestures and live the life the way our software provider overlords want us to. But what I will do is a separate video about how to turn gesture navigation off or on the Poco F7. This will likely work with other Xiaomi and Redmi devices. Now, whilst I've made that selection, we're now being faced with a nice little gradient screen that is going from one color to another, telling us that the Xiaomi HyperOS is preparing the system. So as I said, this is a Poco branded device. This is the Poco F7, but it makes no point of trying to hide the fact that it is in fact part of Xiaomi. It's a bit like Volkswagen Group cars. Xiaomi seems to have a bunch of different brands. But I'm ready to go. The Xiaomi HyperOS screen tells me that the setup is complete, so I can click continue. Ooh, nice wallpaper showing off that lovely AMOLED display. So as you can see, it's the launcher, the Xiaomi launcher is pretty simple. It is conceptually identical to the Pixel launcher with an app drawer. So I have all the apps there, and it also lets me scroll around. And if I scroll here, you'll see that I have a Google feed. What used to be Google Now and is now the Google feed is all here. So you'll see it has all basic information. And hey, look, Poco X7 Pro, which is a different series, but it's being advertised on Temu. Interesting. That's coming up in my Google feed, probably a very expensive ad slot. Now, first things first, there's a lot of bloatware here. There's a lot of apps that I will likely never use on this device, such as WPS Office, Snake Zone. There's a lot of stuff on here. So first things first, let's go to the Google Play Store and make sure everything's up to date. Whoops. So you'll see that it flashed open and then shut. The reason for that is that the Google Play Store essentially updated itself very, very quickly. So if I tap on Manage Apps and Devices, you'll see that in this case there's already 48 apps needing updated, including all that bloatware that I'm not going to be using. So I'll just update them for now and show you in a bit how I'm then going to go and make sure that they are uninstalled, which is pretty easy with them all. But before I do that, let's go into the settings. You see that this is all in light mode. First thing I'm going to do is going to go and change my display to dark mode. I much prefer this. It also works better with the camera for making these YouTube videos. You can also choose your color scheme. So Original Color Pro, Vivid, which is very Samsung, you punch in the eyeballs with saturations, Saturated, and advanced settings. You can then mess around with it as much as you like. But I think I'll just go with Vivid for now, or Saturated. Saturated, yes. Cool, so you now see dark mode is on. If I go up to About Phone, you get the Xiaomi HyperOS About screen, which is very pretty nowadays. Things have come on nicely. But there's an update already available. So it's got updates, which I won't even bother reading and say download update. And I trust Xiaomi with that. And then obviously we also have apps in the Xiaomi App Store that need updated. Do I want almost a gigabyte worth of bloatware added? No thanks. Let's skip that. And then you'll see that this is 264 gigabytes of storage available, and you can clear that up if you want to, but I'm going to do it the traditional way and choose my apps one by one. But interestingly, you have a preloaded cleaner app there that scans your device for content, and I'm going to consent to the terms and conditions. And so there's really not much that I can clear here, 87 megabytes. But as time goes by and your phone builds up a little collection of horrible apps, you can just clear that and clear up your memory. So let's have a sneak peek at how the updates are going here. We're down to 33 apps needing updated from 48, so things are going really fast. It's not just my fast internet connection, that Snapdragon chipset seems to be pretty zippy. If you think about it, there's a lot of stuff going on in the background as I'm updating these apps, and that has not stopped the device from being buttery smooth to use. What I'll do is just quickly show you how to uninstall apps. So let's say I want to get rid of Tile Fun. I'm going to long press on that, and it's got a minus button. So that doesn't actually uninstall it because I've got to it from from the folder on the app drawer. So not on the app drawer. So to uninstall apps, you need to go into the app drawer, go down, find Tile Fun, long press on that, and then you've got a trash can icon or a bin icon if you're in the UK. If you tap on that, it then says, would you like to uninstall Tile Fun? I'm going to click uninstall, and it uninstalls. It's pretty easy. I don't use Spotify. I'm a YouTube music boy. Uninstall. Snake Zone. Uninstall. What else do we have here? Oh yeah, WPS Office. Uninstall. Let's see. Dust Settle. Delete. Uninstall. That's the alarms. Yes, we allow that to do it. I'm not going to set an alarm at the moment. I would like to sleep in tomorrow. Let's see. Booking.com. Delete. Block Puzzle. Uninstall. Bubble Shooter. Uninstall. Block Blast. Uninstall. See, there's quite a lot of this. LinkedIn, not on my personal phone. Xiaomi music, lots of stuff on here. I will keep OneDrive because I do use that. It is a useful app. So that's a few uninstalled. Let's go back to the Play Store. See, we're already down at 18 apps. So whilst I've been doing all that other stuff in the foreground, apps are installing in the background. And we'll also kickstart a few downloads. Now, I quite like the Amazon ecosystem. There's lots on offer here. So Amazon Shopping was already pre-installed. Great. Amazon Photos, free backup, because I am a Prime subscriber. If you are a bit saddened by the fact that Google gave you unlimited, have taken away that unlimited photo storage, even on Pixel devices, Amazon Photos, if you have a Prime subscription, is a nice way of making sure you get that convenience back. Next up, Prime Video. Yes, let's install that. Fire TV. Yes, this is a really easy way to control my Fire TV devices without needing a remote control. Okay, that's a good start. Next up, we're going to look for Meta apps. There's a few I do actually use. So, there's a lot of Meta, but not the Meta one I'm looking for. So Facebook is installed. Instagram, we'll need to install that. Messenger, we're going to install that. Threads, we're going to install that. That's what's replaced Twitter, or what is formerly Twitter, known as X for me. Okay, so we've got all those. Oh yeah, another one that's important to me is IMDb. Always useful for whilst watching TV or watching something. I think we've got most of them. Let's just see what Google ones I'm missing, because I do live quite deeply in the Google world. So Google's installed, Google Chrome's installed, Google One's installed, Google Lens, why isn't that installed? Let's put that in. Phone by Google is installed. Google Chat, yes, I still speak to friends on Google Chat. Google Fit, definitely want that. Google Drive is already installed, great. Google Messages already installed. Maps is installed, News is installed, Files by Google is installed, Gboard is installed. Great, I think everything's there. So there we go. Now, I'm not going to want all these apps on the home screen, so we'll get rid of whatever that is. Themes, Game Center, Me Video, Me Music. I really don't live in the Xiaomi ecosystem enough to make that worthwhile in my view. Right, let's wrap this one up. I've done the major setup. What I will say is it's feeling a bit warm here, but we'll be back with more videos on how to use your Poco F7. If you don't already, please do subscribe to the Tech Travel Geeks here on YouTube. We cover consumer electronics, gadgets, accessories, and anything else that makes the travel experience better. For now, thanks for watching, and goodbye from me.